I may confirm that my name is Ulrich Metschl and I'm coming from Munich. Now, what can I say concerning the two courses for which I will be held responsible here, namely Globalization and Ethics and Multiculturalism and Global Governance? Given the title of the first course, Globalization and Ethics, the Validity of Human Rights, it might seem plain enough what to expect, but I would like to emphasize that the course is not simply meant as yet another exercise in doing armchair philosophy, but rather what is meant to be its main purpose is to see and to find out how the concept of human rights fares in the practical world, in the world of practical affairs. And this means that we have to join debates going on, current debates, that are focusing on the content of the concept of human rights in contrast to what is normally the philosopher's daily bread issues of a more fundamental or foundational type that are concerned with defending, justifying the concept. Now, since the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948 by the United Nations General Assembly, the understanding of the commitments and obligations that come with these rights certainly has changed, as it had to in a changing world. What was once maybe just a lofty idea gained momentum, we may say. But still we have to face questions. For example, we may ask to what extent it is permissible, maybe even mandatory, to impose those rights on other societies or even civilizations or societies which are not yet convinced. And furthermore, we might ask what precisely these rights consist in, because they were initially understood as basic political rights, and of course it was a good idea to grant to persons a right to freedom, liberty, but as soon as it was conceded that just having a right to freedom, to liberty, doesn't come to much if you have the means to live as a free person, it became clear that this concept had to be broadened to include something like social rights. But what exactly is a social right? And in that course in particular, we will take into account some of the proposals coming from economics to find an answer. Now, to make it short, these are not just abstract academic questions, but questions, as I hope is obvious, of vital importance. And we will find sufficiently robust answers to these questions only from cooperation with across different disciplines, including some of a thorough empirical orientation. And the VIU, I should like to add, is certainly the perfect place to engage in that kind of cooperation. Now, the title of the second course, Multiculturalism and Global Governance, is maybe a bit less self-explaining, and so I should also say a few words about it. The question the course is meant to address is one about our social identities and how these are shaped in modern multicultural societies, where segregation is no longer an option, and societies which in particular we find to be less homogeneous than maybe traditional societies used to be. We learn just from reading the newspaper every day how torn by conflicts our world really is, and very often these conflicts are really violent, and these conflicts are certainly something which we cannot accept, which we cannot tolerate in modern open societies, and so we need to find a solution with these conflicts, kind of a conflict resolution. The separation between us and them is not something we can live with, and therefore we have to rethink our traditional understanding of what a social identity is. That seems to make integration, social integration, the integration of different ethnic groups, if there is such a thing as an ethnic group, the order of the day. And it also may mean that we have to revive and reconsider older ideas of cosmopolitanism and see how they amount to something with the problems we face. So diversity is the natural state of things, it seems, and somehow we have to manage diversity just by shaping our modern social identities. Again, it should be obvious how pressing these questions are, and we thereby try to address issues that will lead us quite a bit out of our little ivory tower. And I should also like, again, to add that Venice International University is the perfect place to deal with these issues for the simple reason that we ourselves find our normal social identities a bit in suspense during our time here. And therefore, I'm grateful to be able to capitalize on these opportunities. And I would like to thank the University and the Dean for this occasion. Thank you.